Hi student teachers, today we are to learn gender role, socialization and education within the subjects of teaching sex education. What are we to learn today? We are to state what is gender, what is sex, and what is sex education as the basis, and to discuss the influence of the family on gender role identification in the young child, and really identify the effects of the school on gender role identification in the young child. What is sex? Well, sex is a term used to describe a person's biological identity, including chromosomes and physical manifestations of chromosomes and hormonal influences. In other words, it cannot be changed. It's simply your phenotypic um, manifestations of the chromosomes. As you know, females have the chromosomes of X, X, right? But for males, it's X, Y. So this is only, the male is only showing us what the chromosome represents. Okay, so that's sex, it cannot be changed. Moving on to gender. Gender is seen as a social learned expectation or behavior associated with the member of each sex. Gender role is assumed at birth. What does that mean? It means gender does not necessarily mean that a female would act as expected. It would act as expected according to society. If a female is seen more feminine by wearing skirts, it's a characteristic that society deems feminine as what a female should do. But for society, they would say for male, it's only pants. They hardly wear skirts. So gender is what makes the sex visible to society, characteristics, social learned expectations, and behavior. Sex education is a body of knowledge where merely you suggest your sex roles and identity within society as a human being. It provides clinical advice and insights on appropriate biological terms regarding the self, the body, including the growth and change and reproduction. As you can see, excuse me, as you can see, human reproductive system, the male organ, the female organ, this is under sex education because it lets the learner know that there will be changes over time. As they grow, they will develop ample breast. As they grow, they would have their first period. As they grow, males would have a deeper bass voice or a much more protruding Adam's apple, muscles. Those are insights, clinical advice, what's going to happen, the changes on growth regarding their sexuality, no, their sex, excuse me. Provide an opportunity to experience sexuality on an emotional and rational level to cultivate positive values and attitudes. Well, that's very important for a teacher in sex education because our constitution in South Africa tells us that we are to accept all religions, all sexualities, all differences, or cultures, or races, or identities. And so with our constitution, you are supposed to give the learner an opportunity to really express their sexuality on an emotional level and rational level and make them feel like whatever they are going through and experiences they might feel resonates best with them. Society even might be judgmental, but it's normal because it's part of their lives, it's who they are, it's what they do, it's how they feel. Okay, an example of such is in society in that gender expression. It gender expression, as the poster suggests, its expression refers to how a person represents their gender to the world. This can be done via clothes, body language, pronounce usage, voice, or hairstyle choices. For an example, there's what we like to call drag queens. This is a normal male in his everyday glasses and facial, just represent his representation of his sex as a male. But as soon as he dresses up after a layer of makeup, this is how he likes to gender express himself as what society likes to call more female. So in this situation, his gender expression is a drag queen, because a drag queen in definition is an exaggeration of female characteristics on a male sex person. Okay. Religion, firm values and norms may build really a lot of judgments, and may really influence the girl or boy, how they see in sexuality and how they behave. So what they learn at home, what they learn in the religion and culture may really influence the gender identity behavior of the boy or girl. Religion is not only the prime factor influencing gender roles socialization. The influence may come from family, school/community, and media on gender role identity in a young child. For an example, this is a parade for LGBT community, and you notice this is a married same-sex marriage, two husbands with two daughters. This is what you call influence of family. The daughters have no reference of what a mother should look like. They have two dads, and that's a complete family to them. And in school or community, the community or religion might be even supportive with same-sex marriage, as you can see in this Jewish ceremony. Or even your media may show, as seen in Japan, fighting for same-sex marriage rights and LGBT communities as a whole to have their freedom in their country and enable laws to allow that. And another example for a country or media would be that I know in America, they really are fighting for the rights to have a third toilet for male, female, and other maybe transgender community, or just for anyone who pronounce themselves as they, or any other pronunciation that might be out of the ordinary to a normal human, not normal, regular society members. Influence of the family on gender role identification. Family offers a source of individual security, identity, and a feel of belonging for each family member. A child receives a sense of values, single-mindedness, and a sense of purpose as family values and personal identity can be communicated. And family is a socializing agent in a child's development, including gender role identification, and parents can influence a child's gender role, such as the choice of masculinity or femininity, or neutral colors or feminine or neutral colors for the child in is determine their choice of appeal and activities. What does that mean? For an example, if you as a mother, you tend to pick out pink colors for your daughter's outfits, pink room, pink toy, pink everywhere because you want to emphasize that girls wear pink, girl love pink. It's what the gender is supposed to love. Or you as a father may play sports, rugby, sports, or catch with your daughter, so your daughter comes across as what society calls a tomboy. So there are a lot of activities and choice of appearance that families influence a child's behavior in gender role identification. Any form, a second point, so it'd be any form of sexist teaching, such as categorizing household choices for girls while the boys help out in the mechanic workshop with dad. So that is a bit sexist because now you are bringing this mindset to your daughter or son that there are particular things for boys and particular things for girls. But as we all know, we can do anything if we put our minds on. Gender role identification is promoted at home as a child imitates their parents, for example, dressing up or playing house. Now, the effects of school on gender identification. The structure of school content in the textbook and expectations of the teacher towards the learner may really influence the gender role identification. The teachers, peer groups, syllabus, books along the curriculum material contributes towards the teaching the difference between boys and girls, whether they dispel or contribute to stereotypes. Second point would be the treatment or disciplinary expectation on each gender is the same or not. For an example, if you're a teacher, you would be more rough on girls for just having really making rowdy noise and being unruly. You'll be more judgmental to the girls compared to the boys. Oh, as for example, girls are asked for being tidier than boys, and boys are allowed to behave more aggressively. The sex differentiated treatment results in the acquisition of social skills in interpersonal communicating and leadership role of boys and girls. Now, the effects of media on gender role identification. The portrayal of males and females gender role on television is very largely stereotyped, and children acquired both sexual accepted and unacceptable behavior from each display of gender. Okay, so now the child is exposed to a gender stereotype programs that tend to incorporate certain attitudes and behavior. Now, media may influence gender roles and behaviors by the films we watch. We may not recognize it, but female characters as leading roles, titles, pictures, and stories that contributed to the time, making it gender inequality. So in other words, there are not many leading roles for females in movies, but other programs such as Netflix is trying to change that as much, because there was an action movie, Gunpowder in a Milkshake. This is the leading roles. These are the supporting actresses. And in this movie, they were showing nothing but tough, non-subordinate roles. They were all just really being bosses in this movie. Now, the artwork of films portraying females as a passive, subservient role, while the male portrays an active, independent and self-confidence. These suggest differences results in gender role stereotyping, and Netflix, of course, is trying to change that. There was another movie focusing on Hollywood cliches in movies, and one of the cliches was where a female saves the male by really coming as a savior. He's a wreck, he's a mess, everything he touches he destroys, but she learns to love him and he learns to love himself, and they live happily ever after as a couple. But that is not a job of a female in a relationship, and today that really puts a portrayal, confused portrayal, that a woman is supposed to be with a messed up man and fix them, which is not okay because we're all individuals. Let's look at the next. Effects of media on gender role identification in young child. Media may affect the gender role identity and behavior by children's book. They may express the gender role expectations through the strong storytelling characters, and it may contribute to gender role expectations. Now, in today's time, we have very gender equality and gender empowering and gender freeing sexuality literature, children's book. These are the small examples. No Difference Between Us by Sanders, Jace, and Ben. These are the two main characters in Sanders' No Difference Between Us are twins who are learning the similarities between boys and girls far outweigh the differences, and the book teaches lessons on empathy, gender equality, respect, acceptance, and self-esteem. So that is a way media can really change the mindset or behavior on gender role identification in young children. Another example would be ABC for me. ABC, What Can She Be by Sugar Snap. It is a colorful storybook. It teaches young girls they can do anything they set their lives on, as each alphabet tells a profession a girl can do. Like, for an example, A for astronauts. Okay. Next one is A Sparkle Boy by Newman. Jesse's little brother Casey loves everything that sparkles, including wearing sparkly skirts, sparkly braces, and painting his nails with sparkles. So now this really kills the stereotype that sparkles are only for girls, but they are now trying to change the mindset that it's okay for a boy to like similar things as girls do. Recap. Gender is seen as a social learned expectation and behavior associated with a member of each sex. Gender role is assumed at birth. Sex is a term to describe a person's biological identity, including chromosomes, physical manifestations of chromosomes, and hormonal influences. And we have discussed the influence of family in gender role identification, and how sexism can come into play, gender inequality, and how school can do the same in media. And yes, thank you for joining me. I'm Miss Team Vega. As you know, please subscribe, like, and comment what you would like to know. In my YouTube channel is Miss Team Vega, my website, my Instagram, and thank you so much for joining me in how to teach sex education to your students. Have a good day and bye.